Rocky Long on San Diego Sports Leader XX 1090. Coach, congratulations on the season of success, and we're sorry about the end of that contest there. A heartbreaking way to lose, sir.
Well, I appreciate it. I thought we had a pretty good year, but it would have been nice to top it off with the win. And I thought the team hung in there and made a gallant effort at the end. And I thought we got I think that was I don't know how to say this without being negative, but I think this call at the end of the game was suspect. Now he might have made it from 60 yards. Who knows? But I thought there was one real positive of the game. That's the first time that we've been in front of a partisan crowd that was loud and enthusiastic and all that, and it didn't seem to make any difference to our players, where earlier in the season it did a couple times.
Coach, I talked with you. I remember out at a Padre game, you threw out the first pitch, and I walked up to you and I said, boy, you got a very challenging schedule. And you looked at me and said, well, I'm glad you noticed. And you guys, I thought, went into the year, you had some inexperience in some areas. And really, to bring in some new guys on the staff, a new head coach, and inexperience, to get to a bowl game has got to be a real plus. And overall, you got to be pretty happy with the way the year went.
Well, I'm excited that we got to a bowl game because there was some question that we might not, and I thought that our players had played well enough to deserve to go to a bowl game. And as you know, Coach, developing a program, if you don't get asked to a bowl game, it kind of hurts recruiting. It kind of hurts their attitude when you go into the off season and all those sort of things. So getting to a bowl game is very, very important in this day and age in college football. But I thought the guys handled the transition well. They had to get used to a whole bunch of new coaches. They probably a big-time change in the style from the head coach, but they hung in there, and our seniors did a nice job of leading, and we won some games we didn't think we'd win, and then we lost a couple that we thought we would win.
Head coach Rocky Long of the San Diego State Aztecs joining us here via the Corky's Hotline on San Diego Sports Leader XX 1090. So you now wrap up this season, and for you personally, you mentioned the changeover that these players had to go through. For you personally, a huge changeover as well. Your season went very well. You have obviously the winning season of the Bowl berth, coach, but for you, it must have been a wild ride to go through the 2011 campaign.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. It was wild at the beginning of it, and everybody was feeling their way. And I think all the way through fall camp, everybody was feeling their way because obviously things are different when there's a different guy in charge, and the personalities are different with new assistant coaches and players trying to get to know the coaches trying to get to know the players. I thought about 2/3 of the way through the season, though, probably our last 5 games, everybody felt pretty comfortable. Everybody was used to the routine. Everybody knew where the coaches were coming from. The players accepted everybody, and they worked hard through a bunch of adversity. I mean, we had a bunch of guys playing in that bowl game hurt. I think we had 6 or 7 operations yesterday. We got 3 or 4 today. That just shows you the toughness of our kids that they would play with those injuries. Coach,
you're going to lose your quarterback now, 4-year starter in Ryan Lindley, and I believe you're losing a majority of your offensive line. Are those 2 areas that you're working real hard in recruiting on?
We are, and we're going to miss Ryan. I thought that might have been the best game Ryan ever played the other night in the bowl game. The final drive was awesome. I mean, he had several drops during the game, or statistically it would have been his best game. But we're going to miss him, and now someone's got to step forward and take the reins and get us going that way. Now, we have some offensive linemen. We're going to lose 3 starters, but we have some juniors in the program that need to step up. Biggest concern I have right now is defensive line. Our 3 starters were all seniors. The guys behind them are sophomores and redshirt freshmen and true freshmen. That's the biggest concern I have. I think the offensive line is going to be okay. The wide receivers are going to be better. I don't know about the running backs. We'll see if Ronnie comes back or not. The secondary is going to be better, and the linebackers will be fine.
Off the bowl game on Saturday, Rocky Long, head coach at San Diego State, with us today via the Corky's Hotline. Coach, how do you feel about some call it a loophole rule in the NCAA, the 1-year transfer for a 5th-year player in college football or college athletics in general? How do you feel about that 1-year transfer rule?
I think if a young man has graduated from a university and he sees that it benefits his opportunities later on in life, I don't have any problem with it. I know the guy did it from I think North Carolina State to Wisconsin made a huge difference in their program this year. There's always a chance that might happen here too.
Right, and so you would accept a player like that coming to your program?
Yeah, if he's the right kind of guy. I mean, if he's going to add to the program, not be a distraction, and gets with our program and fits in well, I'd be all for that.
Coach, defensively, where are your greatest needs as far as what you're losing and how you're going about recruiting to fill that need?
Well, the biggest need on defense will be the defensive line. We have a lot of pretty good young players in the program, but haven't played much, and they're going to have to step forward. What we're really recruiting now, because we have young players there, we'd like to get a JC guy there, but I don't know if that's possible, and we might get a junior college guy in the offensive line. On defense, I think that we're pretty good at linebacker, and we're pretty good in the secondary with the guys coming back. So the biggest concern is the D-line.
Coach, I know that you were doing the things with Ronnie and with Leon McFadden to kind of test the waters in the NFL. Have you gotten any feedback yet?
No, but it should be coming any day now. We'll either get it before Christmas or we'll get it the first week of January. The NFL does a great job with that, and they will canvass the league, see where they think those guys are going to be drafted. They'll send me a letter. They'll send the kid a letter. Once we get the letter and see what it says, then I'll meet with both Ronnie and Leon and discuss the possibilities, what's best for them and their families, and we'll see how it comes out. It'll be really interesting for me to see because college coaches really have no idea. We think we know what they're looking for in the pros, but it's a completely different game.
Head coach Rocky Long, the San Diego State Aztecs, with us here today. San Diego Sports Leader XX1090 and via the Corky's Hotline. Coach, let's look ahead now to the 2012 campaign. I mean, September the 1st is going to be right around the corner. Give us an idea of your non-conference schedule and what you're looking ahead to.
Well, our non-conference schedule will be a lot like it was this year. We're playing Washington up in Washington. We've got Army at home. We got Eastern Illinois here. The funny part about next year that will be strange for me, and I'm going to talk to Gary Patterson at TCU as soon as they get done with their bowl game tomorrow, will be that we'll be in the Mountain West Conference for one more year, and everybody knows we're leaving. And I'm going to ask him how he felt about that and how he handled that, because that puts your team in a little bit of a state that I don't know what it does psychologically. We're excited about going to the Big East, but we don't get to go for another year. And so I don't know what a team feels like when they get into a conference race when they know they're not part of the conference after the year's over.
Well, you thought you got a phantom call in New Orleans Bowl the other night. You may be getting a few phantom holding calls in big ball games next year.
Well, Gary already told me that it's pretty strange on how the games are called now. But we know you're not going to be part of the league.
Yeah, I saw that one coming a mile away.
Well, were there any schedule changes, Coach, for you now that you are leaving, like we had with Boise State at TCU and all that?
Well, there's going to be schedule changes because Hawaii's coming into the league, and Nevada Reno's coming into the league, and Fresno's coming into the league. So there are changes with your league schedule too. But Boise's going to be in the Mountain West Conference for one more year too. So we'll be up at Boise. Now I don't know where we're going to play Fresno, Hawaii, and all them. That schedule won't come out until February sometime.
Hey, Coach, I know you've gone through this as an assistant coach as well. Anytime you have a team that is successful, other schools are going to want to come in and get some of the guys that were a part of that. Do you expect to keep your entire staff intact?
Well, I'd love to keep them intact, but, Coach, you know exactly what happens when you have success and at a place that hasn't had much success lately. They think you have secrets. Now, we don't have any secrets, but we have some good coaches, and there's already been 2 or 3 of them contacted by other schools that I'm doing my very best to keep them here, and hopefully I can.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the 8-win season here. The phantom call at the end gets you, but a great ball game. Ryan Lindley, his amazing career comes to an end with a great touchdown drive. We should remember that. And, Coach, thank you very much for the time throughout the year. We'll get you here as the season goes along toward 2012. Thank you,
Merry
sir.
Christmas, Rocky.
Merry Christmas, guys. Thanks for having me on.